Hello everyone, welcome to the First Students Groups of 2021. My name is Alicia and I'm a sophomore at the Abingdon campus.
Welcome everyone, I'm Emma and I'm an 11th grader at the Mountain Road campus.
If you're joining us in person, welcome back. I'm excited that we get to be together.
And if you're joining in online, we're so glad you're here. If you're not already in a students group, make sure you click the link in the description to get connected to one.
This week, we're starting a new series all about our emotions called Moods.
Right, over the next few weeks, we're going to take a deep dive into some of the feelings we all feel and try to figure out what we can do to better control our moods instead of letting our moods control us.
I only show emotions through emojis.
What emoji was that supposed to be?
Supposed to be the dragon, you know?
Yeah. Actually, it's funny you should say that because since our series is about emotions, I thought we could have some fun with some different emojis.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, let's try to bring our speaker out to play the game with us.
Okay, today's speaker is none other than our Edgewood student pastor, Greg.
Come on out here, Greg.
What's up, y'all?
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing all right. How are you guys doing?
Yeah,
I'm good.
I mean, yeah.
Greg, I know you're old, but do you know what emojis are?
First of all, it's Gregory to you, Miss Ma'am.
Okay.
And secondly, wait, hold on. Aren't emojis those things you take like a semicolon and parentheses, you put them together and it gives you a smiley face? Isn't that?
I sincerely hope you're joking, but in all seriousness, what is your favorite emoji?
I'm still trying to wrap my brain around what they are, but I'd say that it's like that one with the monkey, the see no evil one.
Oh yeah, the one that's like, yeah, that's a good one.
I'm still,
Well, our game for tonight is very simple. We'll get an emoji and we'll each get a chance to replicate it to the best of our abilities. Yeah?
seems easy enough, right?
I believe in you, Greg.
All right.
You got this.
All right, so our first emoji, you just swipe over, and you get to see it. We don't get to see it.
No.
Okay.
Like the cold guy?
Yes.
The cold
Yeah.
guy? Yeah, like
Yeah.
the blue one where he's like in the ice.
All right. Oh, okay, I can do this one really good.
Confused?
I mean, well,
Confused?
I mean, I guess.
If you were to look at me like that, I would think that you're confused.
like you're like kind of
like
suspicious,
an angry
you know?
confused.
I feel like that's like
Yes,
kind of like, come on, really?
I think this
Yeah.
guy's
Yeah.
angry.
That's
I
less-
think he's angry that he's confused. All right.
Oh, she's mind blown.
Yes. I needed hands for that one.
All right, what's
Greg.
next? What is that even a, I haven't even, okay. I can't turn,
Is it a guy posing?
Like he's just like, is it like a piece of art? Like he's posing for a museum?
It kind of looks like with the beret. It definitely
Yeah.
looks like that.
just picture like hair.
Hair?
Yeah.
Are you like
Fabio? Like that's it's a genie.
Yes.
I don't know if a genie would.
how you
Have
have
you-
to like not have legs?
Hold on. How many of us have
That's
actually
a genie,
seen
guys.
this emoji?
How frequently is that one used?
I didn't even know this was an emoji.
Yeah.
It's gotta be an update or something.
I'm gonna like text you later. I'm just gonna send you a whole bunch of genies.
Oh
All
my
right.
God. Finally give it some use.
Is
Hand
that
over
it
mouth.
right there? The hand
No,
over
that's
mouth?
not the emoji.
Oh,
I don't even like. I don't know how to like. Okay. Of course, I would get this one. Like,
Oh, yoga.
The gymnastics lady?
Oh.
Oh!
oh my gosh, I'm so glad you got
That was not a cartwheel.
I can't do a cartwheel. Yeah.
All right.
no,
Let's see what's in. Let's see what that is. I think I can do this one.
You're fencing.
Yes! I didn't get into character for that one. See?
I see.
Have you ever used this emoji?
I have not used that.
I don't even know
Maybe
anyone
like
who's-
if you're like in an argument and you're like, you know.
So next time I'm in a text argument with someone, I'm just gonna send this, and they'll definitely get what I'm saying.
Yeah, for
For
sure.
sure.
For
For
sure.
sure.
Yeah. Okay.
That is the end of them actually.
That's it?
That was the whole list.
I was
Alright.
excited.
That was yeah, that was pretty intense. I didn't think I was gonna be that bad at that. Of course I got the
who
cartwheel
won.
one.
Who got the most right?
I think it was probably you, I think. Like
we all win in the end.
yeah, true.
We have Jesus. You were quite talented at that game. I was not prepared for that.
Yeah,
Greg.
I don't know. I didn't expect
Facial
you to be that
expressions
good.
on fleek, very lit, and so swag.
Anyways, let's go see what you have to share with us today.
All right.
Bye, Greg.
Bye, Greg.
See you. What's up, students? Welcome to the kickoff of Students Groups. I'm so excited to be sharing in this experience with you. So whoever you're with, let them know I am grateful you're here. If you're watching on YouTube, leave a comment so we can interact and get to know each other. All right. So in that vein, I might as well introduce myself, right? For those of you that don't know me, my name is Greg and I'm the student pastor over at the Edgewood campus. And I recently got married. Yes, I got married in 2020. Not the year you choose to do that for obvious reasons. But my lovely wife, Emily, she is my rock. She is my safe space and I'm hers. And we experience all the different emotions that come with planning a wedding and being in a relationship in the midst of the pandemic together as a team. Like most of you, we took up several hobbies like hiking, baking, yoga, and many other things. But one new thing that wasn't really a part of our lives was discovering new TV shows. One day in around mid-August, Emily came to me with the idea to watch this TV show that her sister recommended called Zoe's Extraordinary Playlist. The show is about Zoe, a computer programmer who, by freak accident, acquires the power to experience the deepest emotions of other people as songs. Really cool, isn't it? Although the show had a very interesting premise, Emily and I never got past the pilot because we're like 70-year-olds who prefer reading old books and playing 20 questions. But there was this very, very impactful scene in the first episode where Zoe uses her telepathic interaction with her office crush Simon that had a very haunting resonance. What we value, how we see the world, how we've grown, our scars and our wounds that are still healing. It's almost like looking into our soul. It's very intimate knowledge. A boundary to our souls is one we hold very closely that we don't want to share, let alone have someone have the power or ability to see it all the time. It would be like someone taking your Spotify hashtag 2020 Wrapped playlist and just putting it all over social media without your permission. Doesn't feel safe, does it? Doesn't feel secure. It's why we spend most of our time and energy trying to hide our mood. Because if people know how we feel, they can take advantage of it. Take Zoe, for example. In the same episode, she uses what she knows about Simon's emotions to take advantage in order to try and date him. And that's our fear. It's hard enough trying to manage and make sense of our moods. But when you add other people, a pandemic, racial and social unrest, an economic downturn, good luck. It's for this reason that the coolest kid in school is the one that is disengaged and has their Zoom camera off while doing who knows what during class. It's the reason the coolest Instagram influencers and leaders are the ones that only post success in 2020 while the world seems to be going up in smoke. And it's the reason why you probably think that the cool kid in your students group is the one who, when it's time for high, low, wow, either has no low or doesn't share much, if anything at all, even if something was crushing their spirit. But here's reality. As much as we resist the idea of being seen or under control, all of us are, every single one of us. We would probably never say it this way, but all of us are controlled, even the cool kids, in some way by our emotions, our moods. So where do we even start? What do we do with emotions? Over the next few weeks in this series called Moods, we'll take a deep dive into some of the feelings we all feel and the way they inspire our actions in an effort to figure out what we can do to better control our moods instead of letting our moods control us. All right, so let's start here. I kind of like to think of emotions like a painting palette. So hold on, before I do that, I gotta get my hat, I gotta get ready, I gotta get in the mood for painting. So when we're younger, we only have just a few colors to paint with. Say blue, for example. Very simple, right? Or maybe red. And maybe yellow. Very simple. As we mature and get older, our palette begins to get bigger and we begin to have more access to more colors. Like, think about it this way. We have our primary colors, but then as we mature, something happens and we have a color that we don't have a category for. Emotions, though they're confusing, and as we mature, become more and more complex, are good things. Feelings are healthy. It's how we deal with those emotions that matter. Maybe we hide our emotions because we don't want to seem weak, or maybe we feel like what we're feeling will last forever. Maybe we don't think about our feelings because the people around us are so focused on their own feelings. Or maybe you've said something you regret, and because of that, you're trying to push that emotion or repress that emotion. Or maybe you've let your emotions control you. There's nothing wrong with having these feelings or moods. The problem comes when we let our moods control our canvas, when we let those feelings control us. When we can't operate while having them, they seize us. And to ignore or disregard emotional health for the sake of cool is not controlling them. It's setting ourselves up for them to control us. Recent studies show that a person who lacks the ability to regulate their emotions in a healthy way is at high risk for depression, eating, anxiety, and substance abuse disorders, and other risk factors. So what's the one emotion that whenever you feel it, it almost always seems to take over? We all experience emotions like this, and I'm sure in some way we have all found ways to monitor them. But what if there was a solution to handling our emotions beyond just monitoring them? Let's take a brief look back in time to the most consequential time period in human history. At this point, Jesus had gathered, equipped, and taught his disciples to go across the ancient Mediterranean and spread the good news of the kingdom he was bringing. But Jesus and his followers were met with opposition. Even his own cousin, who sat in jail for Jesus' mission, John the Baptizer, doubted, sending a message to Jesus saying this: "Are you the Messiah we've been expecting? Or should we keep looking for someone else?" Now, stop. Imagine for a second your own cousin who once had your back and was more like a brother, beginning to doubt you. Imagine how that feels and the emotion that comes with that. And we pick it back up. Jesus responded to this, but yet he still faced opposition to his message. This time, not from his family, but the cities in which he was visiting. Verse 20, next, Jesus let fly on the cities where he had worked the hardest, but whose people had responded the least, shrugging their shoulders and going their own way. He's now getting it from all sides: family, friends, followers, onlookers. Everyone is doubting him. The anger, the disappointment, the emotions that Jesus was feeling at this moment and that Matthew is describing to us are starting to leap off of the pages of Scripture. This man, the most influential person to ever live, had his emotions out in the open and put to the test. And what did he do in that moment? Verse 25, at that time, Jesus prayed. Now, hold on, wait a minute. The most influential person in human history, at one of his most emotionally distressing times, prayed. He prayed to regulate his emotions. He prayed to reorient his identity. He prayed because he knew that God was where he could find safety and rest for his emotions and the burden he was carrying. It gets even more interesting. When Jesus says these words, he says in verse 28, "Come to me, all of you who are weary and carrying heavy burdens, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you. Let me teach you, because I am humble and gentle at heart, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy to bear, and the burden I give you is light." Jesus is the Father become human to draw near to you in the darkest moments, to be with you through his Spirit in the times of sadness and sleepless nights, and to die and proclaim victory over the anxiety, the sadness, the grief, the trauma that burdens your shoulders from the world's expectations that are placed on you. If you need a safe space, a place to go to find rest for your soul without judgment or condemnation, a place to grow and find a true purpose and identity, Jesus provides that space. Jesus' life, death, and resurrection gives you access to the Father that gave him rest to his soul. We all need a safe space to grow, and in Jesus, we now have it. Now that word, soul, that Matthew uses in verse 28, in the original language that Matthew was writing, it kind of goes like this. So let's take a look at the verse. That Jesus will provide rest for your, and here's the key word, souls. Now, that word here is very familiar to us. That word soul that Matthew writes in the Greek is this one. It's the word psyche. And psyche is identified with moods. This word is the root word for the study called psychology. And so what Matthew is trying to get at is that, in essence, what Jesus was saying at that time when he was speaking was that you can find rest for the deepest parts of your emotions, your psyche, your mood. And in light of this, I want us to remember one simple truth. Because of Jesus, emotions don't have to be the boss of you. They don't have to control your canvas. Jesus is a way better boss than any negative emotions you feel. And he can give you the strength to stand up to that emotion that's trying to control you. Here are a few ways that you can live that out. Try to think of the top one or two emotions you have the hardest time controlling. Second, talk about your feelings with someone you trust. And third and finally, be kind to yourself. This one is so important. If there's one thing I want you to know today, is this. It's that our feelings aren't bad. And feeling them, talking about them, or experiencing them isn't bad either. Remember, we said the whole managing our moods thing wasn't going to be easy. So be kind to yourself when you don't always get it right. Don't beat yourself up about how you feel or how you act because of how you feel. Give yourself the chance to do it differently the next time. To not let your feelings be the boss of you, and to take it to Jesus and ask for his help. We're now going to hear from a student who wrestled with their emotions, but found rest in Jesus.
It was like around near summer of 7th grade or 8th grade, around that time, where like I was kicked out of a friend group. I was alone for a lot of the time. Like I was just by myself, just with my own thoughts. And that's not a fun thing. These friends you thought were close to you, like they said they loved you. What's going on? And then they leave, you're just like, well then did they really care? And then you start to doubt everything. You're so sad because you're alone, you're in pain. All these things happen to you. No one's around you to help you. It gets to a point where I'm just like, I'm so mad just at everything. And I'm just like, can we just not? And like, I will say some things I regret, and then I feel horrible after, because I'm just like, I don't want to be like that. I wish I wasn't like that. And you want to give up. You just want to let go of life, because you're just like, I'm done. When you feel like depressed or like down, like at first you're just like, oh my gosh, this sucks. I want to do anything to get rid of it. But once you live with it for a while, it starts to get comfortable, and you live with it, so you don't do anything about it. And I didn't do anything about it for a while. So my mom is very like tough love. She's like on the outside you don't think she cares, but like I know like when she's like, what's wrong with you? She means like, I care and I want to know what's going on with my daughter because I care. We went out to dinner with my family, and then I was being my angsty self, like sitting in the chair all slumped, like just like and my mom's just like, okay, we're figuring this out right now. She just wanted to fix the problem right then and there. Just like, I want to know what's going on so we can get this over with, because I know you're not feeling great. So I want you to feel great again. So we gotta figure out the source of the issue. So then I started to pinpoint like where the issue was coming from. So many things were brought up, and you look back on what happened, and you're just like, oh my gosh, why did that happen? And then you get angry about it, and you're just like, well, how could they? And then you're sad about it, and you're just like, well, forget it. Let's just move on. And then you're numb about it. I feel like it's been a long time since I felt like true love or like true anger, or true like just sadness. I've been so numb to life. I try to not focus on that and focus on purpose and focus on doing something with my life, because I feel like that's the most important thing I could do, is to make something myself, to like have a good impact. When I first got into like small group, I just remember, Miss Kim saying a lot like, this is a safe space. This is meant for you to share your life and to seek God and to seek a better outlet for life. And I was just like, I can roll with that. I felt like I learned how to deal with my past in a better way, and just deal with emotions in a better way. I try to like be better when it comes to emotions. It's still very hard, but I try to be better about it, because I don't want to be the person I was. I want to be better than what I was. I want to be the best I can be. So I have to keep learning and growing, because I'm not going to get anywhere just sitting around feeling sorry for myself. I got to do something to be better, because that's what God wants. He wants me to fulfill the purpose in which He set out for me. I know sometimes it feels like everything is against you. The cards are stacked against you, but God can help you through it. There are people out there who love you, who want to see you succeed. So you got to get up, fulfill the purpose, and live a godly life.